5:33. Is that any public comments?
I do have something I'd like to say. I've got two people that want to talk to us about some zoning stuff. So we need to look at having an APC meeting so we can discuss a couple of those issues. The property at the end of Maine.
Right. I know what you're talking about. I'm like, I just sat back here. We don't.
I guess you need our approval to have an APC meeting?
No,
Okay,
I just want to let you know. that
Just
we
letting
have
us know.
a meeting.
okay,
And we have a couple things that are coming on the docket for a APC.
okay. All right. Judd?
Well, so we're not going to be discussing the ordinances that were introduced on September 4th until the November 6th meeting. And there's not a problem. It's, that gets advertised and taxing authorities get noticed up, and Tom Pittman and he gave me the notice this morning, and I gotta get to the newspaper by tomorrow, and we just needed to work out a time for the EDC meeting on November 6th as well. So his notice is gonna slightly change, and then I'll go out tomorrow. So this will be done, and there's no consequence. This will all be wrapped up for all of the commissions November 6th. So the only other thing that I had was the cell tower contract. I don't know if you saw what I sent out today. And there's some pretty brief changes to it, but they were kind of important
They were
changes.
good changes, I
Yeah,
thought.
I agree, and a lot more palatable agreement, but I've got a copy that has the corrections on it if anybody hasn't looked at it and wants to, and then a clean copy if they're inclined to sign it. I got the impression that this is their final offer, though. I think he's running out of time to do something. This client is, I think he represents the client that wants to have this tower, but it's a 35-year lease instead of a 50-year lease. It's $900 a month instead of $750 a month. It's 5-year non-competition for any other cell tower instead of 50-year, which is where we started. And there's now they would have, if they exercise their option, they'll have a $5,000 signing bonus for the town. And I think in the escalator provision, instead of every 5 years it going up 7%, it goes up 10%, which much more favorable terms. And the representative, Derek McGrew, for the company that wants to put the tower up, which is Iron Mountain Towers, an Ohio Limited Liability Company, is available by cell phone if you have any questions about this, in the hopes that you're gonna consider this and either give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down tonight.
I like the new changes. I think they would be beneficial to the town to have that extra income.
Yes. I don't do,
Do you have any other?
I didn't have any real concerns with it.
And I will need a motion to enter into the cell tower contract.
I'll make a motion to enter into the cell tower contract.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
So I've got a clean copy here, and it has notary blocks, and I can notarize them if that's how you want to do it, and send it to them for signature, and I'll keep a copy and then get it back. So it requires 2 signatures. I would have Treva and Amy sign, not necessarily in order. And then I'll notarize those, send it off to them to get signed, and we'll be done. There's a landlord signature block and a notary block, and a landlord signature block and a notary block. I would do the president on the first one and the clerk treasurer on the second.
The 16th.
Maybe. You don't have anything else for us, Jim?
I don't.
All right, well, thanks for coming and
You betcha. Do you wanna ask me anything, Treva, about anything else?
No, I can call you on it or send you.
all right. Dave,
We have a couple of pay applications, actually they're second one, so they're not number one, they're number two. For public road approach and the student breaker trail. And I can talk about the trail one first, since it's on the agenda first. Pay application number 2 on the trail project essentially runs for the month of September. It's dated for the period from September 1st to September 27th. It brings the total completed and restored to date to $487,820. And take retained out of that and previous pay application number 1, the total due this invoice is $216,090.44. And you can see the different items that Milestone is billing for on this. A lot of it is the stone and the prep for the trail itself. There's really no asphalt yet in this one, so they did all that work in the bridge itself in early October here, so the next one's gonna be bigger. Next bill's probably gonna be bigger. But everything that we've got, I just had, it's called an IC 642, and we don't have one attached to this, but it shows all of the pay items and where they're tracking at that moment in time, over or under the quantity, and we're looking really good with not going over. So, we won't have any change orders to add to the total contract price, but we may have change orders to utilize funding in the contract on additional things that we could afford on the base bid. There was an alternate bid form original, well, there's 2 bids, but on the bid that was accepted, there's an alternate bid, and we're working through with Milestone now, pricing on adding some concrete at the plaza at Bryan Park, and foundations for a shade sail structure, and hopefully the shade sail structure itself. We talked about that, I think, in the last meeting. So just trying to get as many amenities as we can at the trailhead part of the park. I did find out, we had a progress meeting this morning, and Russell said there's fence in there. There is fence technically in there, and it's at the ends of the bridge. It's just like 18 feet or so on each corner to protect the end of that steel from being an abrupt thing that you might run into. So they'll probably have a little bit of an angle to it, but it's kind of act like guardrail, but it's not very much. It's 68 total feet in the project. So you can let him know that. He was correct. But if there are any questions, we would ask the council to approve this pay application number 2.
for the trail?
For the trail.
On your copy, because the copy that you sent did not have a project manager signature. Do you have one with a signature yet?
No, but I can sign it.
Okay, cool.
So I'll need a motion for pay application number 2 to the student breaker trail.
I'll make a motion for the pay application number 2 for the trail. I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Before you move on, we received this after I sent claims. So can you give me permission to write that check prior to the next meeting? It'll show up on next claims, but I need permission to write the manual check.
I'll make the motion to go ahead and do the payout of the claims.
Second.
Next. I thought you were reaching for something to look.
New pin. My other pin died. Jackie. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
The next item is the next pay application for Flu Public Road Approach. I've reviewed this, and the total contract to date is going to go up to $99,930.30. And I wanted to double check with the CCMG funding to make sure that there wouldn't be at the end of the project a underrun with NDOT money back. The grant was for $100,000 total project costs, 75-25. So you have $75,000 from NDOT and $25,000 local match. The contract coverage for $112,700, so the town put an additional $12,700 of your own local money into that. So we're $70 away from using all the CCMG money. So I don't have a problem if you would approve this tonight, that we're gonna finish out, and there's some items on here that haven't been completed. And as those tickets come in and as those items get completed, we will go over that, so you lose all the CCMG funding and won't owe anything back to you. We can go from there if there's anything additional on any funding left there, or just cancel the PO and milestone and do it another way. So, does that make sense? Yeah, I think that makes sense.
To cancel PO.
You don't have POs?
I have POs, I can't cancel PO.
Well, it can end, right?
I can, yes.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, no.
because that's what I got in trouble with last time, we canceled. And then we didn't have the money approved to send back to NDOT,
Gotcha.
because I used the grant funds instead of local cuts
Right.
for that.
So there will be potentially some money left on the Fluid Public Road Approach, 100% local money left to utilize on pay items or anything else, so.
Okay.
This payment request is for $87,770.30. We're holding with the change out of that, so. That's why it's not the full amount.
I need a motion to approve pay app number 2 for Fluke CCMG project.
I'll make that motion to approve CCMG project for food.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
And now that you've approved it, in order to pay it, it has not been in my office long enough because Josh signed it on the 14th and it has to be in my office 5 days before our meeting. So, you can do it again, give me permission to, in 5 days, I can pay it, or it has to wait till November 6th, whichever you prefer. 'Cause
Well, I'll make a
we don't
motion
have it.
to approve for you to pay out in 5 days.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?
And I guess the only other thing on the agenda for us to update the construction progress, it's going really well. And I know some people would like a little rain, but it's not slowed the contractor down on getting the paving finished. They were able to surface it last Friday, do some striping earlier this week. Fluid Road is back open, Fluid Drive is back open. And as you've seen, it started doing some backfill around the edges of the trail, around the corners of the public road approach, and dressing it up and getting the final grading done and good seeding. So their substantial completion date is October 24th, and they're really close to being at substantial completion right now. So I don't anticipate there being any problem with the schedule allowing them to meet that. Talked a little bit briefly about having a ribbon cutting.
Those are the dates. Colleen, remember the dates we said this morning?
The 29th or 30th?
29th or 30th? At
At 5.
5.
29th or the 30th?
Yeah, does any of those work?
October.
Yeah, like, in like 2 weeks.
Next week, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So Wednesday or Thursday.
Mhm.
It was 30th is fine. Thursday is the 30th.
When are we trick or treating?
31st.
31st.
I could sit out there on my bridge and hand out candy. I'm okay with that.
On the bridge?
We had, coming home from work the other day, I had 2 or 3 people standing on the bridge, just looking, and I've seen people using the trail already. So that makes me smile.
Yes.
I did see that they had a repairs in asphalt section. It was like,
Where was that?
I forget where at the trail specifically, but looked like they had do something to it.
I'll have to look at that spot.
What time did you say this was gonna be for?
5 o'clock.
What day?
The 30th work for everybody
The
else?
30 seems fine.
At 5 o'clock.
Try to be really quick. We had a meeting last night and a couple of people have asked, is there going to be any more lighted poles along the path? And I wasn't sure if Duke was still bringing poles out, if we were still under that, or what was going on. I told him I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I guess I'm shocked because the poles that we have are right over the trail and there's 8 along there, so I don't know why we would need more.
Are they lit?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
They're over the
like
street,
road. They're like the road, not the.
so I don't know whether there's like enough ambient light
for the path.
to be on the
Oh,
path.
yeah, because there's streetlights.
Okay, because I was thinking, well, I thought the ones we had were, and then I said, well, I will check. And a few people thought since there were boulders and construction on Fluke Drive that we were going to get Fluke. And I said, well, do you have about $100,000?
More than that.
We'll have to
Yeah,
do
you
that.
have consideration for it.
Well, anyway, so those were a few questions last night and a couple of questions on, did Brian get in okay with the equipment and not mess things
We got
up?
in right before they paved it.
Yep.
The day before they paved it.
So will he be able to get in and out next year then?
Not at that location probably, the way he
Okay.
did before.
I think they said they might have found a way for him to get in that might work.
I did talk with Brian, I've not
Okay.
talked with any of the church trustees yet.
Well, they're just asking me all of this stuff now, so. And I said, I think we have Brian situated and I think he talked with you, so.
Mhm.
hopefully
And I said
it's-
all the costs got out, so they could
Mhm.
do the edges.
Right,
The corn in the Conroy field is still up, so that'd be nice if they get that one paved, but they use fluke.
Yeah, they used to get it out, so.
And when we do fluke, we've committed, Lisa Rose, and we'll do the same for that field that's not been picked yet, to put a true farm entrance there for the
is that the one between the church and the dollar store?
going east.
Is it
Yeah.
that ditch and the dollar store?
Okay,
Yeah.
cause I asked Brian Farm that and they said John Kretzmeyer does. The one out by the parking lot going towards Fuller's.
Across the ditch?
Yes, across the ditch.
Okay, I didn't realize that was it.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I assumed that was Rose too.
No, it's
No,
not,
it's
and I
not.
thought Brian did it. They're like, no, John does that one, so I'm like, okay.
Because when we were dealing with the farmer, it was, good track.
Well, maybe John Farm is more rich, right? I don't know. They said John takes the corn, so too many names, I'm just.
Right?
Okay, those were my couple of questions.
Anything else for us, Dave?
I don't think so.
All right. Tim?
I'll be brief. We've done a couple inspections the last couple weeks. Mainly, I was here on Monday, forgot it was closed, but I did the inspection. When I got here, it was like, oh yeah. So I didn't try to come in, but I did an inspection, but things are going well. We've been having safety meetings. They did the CPR stuff today. I wasn't able to make it out for other reasons, but I'm already CPR certified, but it'd been nice to be here for meeting and all. The tower's taken care of now, which is a good thing. Thanks for finally getting that put to bed. So working on, the big thing that I'm working on right now is I got all the paperwork from the county for a right of way and easements throughout the whole entire town. So I'm trying to put it all together so we know exactly where our property, what we are responsible for.
Nice,
So
Thank you.
that'll be huge.
and then I'm gonna jump back on the APC and BZA stuff. I did find a whole bunch of the stuff from Lucas. So we're gonna get all that organized, so we know for at least since 2021, what meetings we had and what minutes the meetings and stuff, so it'll all be available. And not on the computer, but actually in print,
For public viewing.
yes.
Nice.
Okay.
The last thing that I have is, the October 1st deadline for ADA to the state. I did send in a report of the things that we have completed here within the town. So I need to get you a copy of it. It's like a 7-page report of everything that's been done to meet their requirements. So we are up to date on all our ADA stuff, ADA and Title VI. So To Daphne. Yes,
Anything else?
that's all.
That's all? True.
I made changes, I sent you the whole book, but we have found some more, page number errors, but what you were changing tonight was section 250, notice of discharge instead of, council liaison, notice of discharge will be given from the operations manager or the clerk treasurer. So that's, page 250, or section 250 and section 305. Tardiness is now defined as 2 days within a 6-month period, and unauthorized absence is 2 days in the 6-month period. And those were, the other one that we needed, attorney input, she is working on. We've been in communications, but the short notice we haven't got it yet, so we'll just adopt that section when that one happens. So your motion would just need to be that we're changing section 250 and 305.
Section 250 and 305.
I'll make a motion to change section 250 and 305.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
And then the organizational part that goes in the handbook, we changed that to council liaison, down to operations manager, and then on down to wastewater, water maintenance, and public works.
I make a motion, we approve the new organizational chart.
Second.
Right. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
And then, the job descriptions. We are changing, modifying the job descriptions for the operations manager, the assistant operations manager, the maintenance operator, and the wastewater stormwater operator. So if you liked those changes, then we just need to make a motion to re-adopt those.
I make a motion to re-adopt the new job descriptions.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Claims.
Yay. General 44-3-9508, MVH 1622, MVH restricted 4,903. Donation to parks 4,919, 15. CCE 71531, water operating 880841, wastewater treatment operating 11,795.52, wastewater treatment bond and interest 57,560, stormwater utility 2,013.66, payroll 23,995.25 for a grand total of 160,727.38.
I'll make a motion to approve claims.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And then RDC, which is us, the board, will be meeting on 11/6 at 5:15. And we will follow that with our board meeting at 5:30. And the EDC will be meeting at 5 o'clock.
There are a lot of meetings on that day.
And then, just as a reminder, we have the executive session on Tuesday at 6 p.m.
21st, right?
21st at 6 p.m. Anything else from anybody else?
I did have a couple of questions last night. They were asking about Mainstream or any of that coming through. Do we know any more about if we're gonna get some new Wi-Fi?
Yeah, that's a good question. They had to wait on Duke,
That's what I
to do
said.
some things on the polls, but I did have a conversation with Wendy Epstead with Mainstream and said, why are we not at least doing what can be done underground? So she's supposed to get back to me on scheduling on the underground, but she initially said, when we get there, we want to be able to do all at once. So I understand that, but we've been waiting over 3 years for this to happen, so.
And now Ron Shaw said Brian Berry got hold of him and wants to have a meeting with you and me because it sounds like they're not ready at all. Like it's gonna be a year or two. But I don't know because I've not talked to Brian myself yet, but there's supposed to be a meeting being set up.
Okay,
A year or two longer?
And what our options could be.
I lied in church last night.
Well, it
No, you
was, I
didn't.
mean, I just found this out myself, so,
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah.
you didn't lie, you just told the information you knew.
Wow.
yeah, because the last they talked to us was,
They
it
were
would be
waiting.
late this fall before Duke got finished, for them to be able to do anything on the polls.
I
'Cause
said
they-
we were waiting on Duke and hopefully by the end of the year, first of the year, we might see something. Yeah.
This has been a whole mess.
Well, you know, it's sad that I say this, that we had another company come in and do part of the town on the tippy side, and from March to October, we went from 0 to everything being completed in a very
People
short
signed
period of
up
time.
and using it.
Ron's understanding was they want to apply for another grant. And if that's the case, then I think that we should see if somebody else wants to.
Absolutely.
And, but to our point, we thought this was all covered under the first grant that they
Right.
received. through-
They ran out of money.
My understanding, and I've not seen the books, but the only thing that they've been paid for to this point was to put the backbone in that they did on Meadow, on the east side of Meadow, is all they've been paid for.
They don't have any money. Especially if that's what they wanna do is apply for another grant.
Yeah.
They don't have the money.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm assuming the grant that they originally had expired
It
That's
did.
what I.
Yes, it did. I think it
like
expired.
3 years ago.
But yeah, I agree with you, but if it is, they are going to be applying for a new grant. I think we need to let other people also apply for
Well,
that.
and, you know, knowing that, you know, I'm gonna say before we have a meeting with them, because if they are applying for another grant, other companies are gonna see that.
Mhm.
So, and we need to make sure that that's on
So-
everybody's radar.
I think we need to have that meeting with Brian
I
to
would
see
agree.
what he thinks our options are.
Soon.
Is he working for Mainstream still, or was he ever working for
I
Mainstream?
have no idea, I was never told that by him, so I don't know.
And I'll find out from Wendy as well, what she knows, because she's in the main office on the scheduling side of everything, so. That way when we meet with Brian, we'll have an understanding of what he's saying to what is coming from the head office.
Mm,
Do you have anything else,
No.
Jim?
Come on, let me give you some good news about something.
The tower will be up long before that's done.
No kidding.
Mm.
But I'm happy about the tower, and the fact that you get the $5,000
Signing
bonus check up front, so.
That's good.
That will help.
Up the rate on what they're giving you per month. And then the 10% instead of 7%, so.
Yeah.
That's huge for the town.
Mhm. All right, anybody else have anything else?
With that tower, are you wanting to make a new account? How's that work?
Just doing the general
Just doing
fund.
general?
And we can do it however you want. I mean, that's really just revenue to the town to support the general fund. I wouldn't see why we would want to set up a different fund unless you want it earmarked for a special something rather than just income coming into the town, but. seeing that we're trying to find ways of recouping money and we're now not receiving through property tax,
Yeah.
I would think we would just want it to go into the general fund.
Okay.
But
Wherever we need it.
whatever you wanna do.
I didn't know how it worked, so.
There is a lot of things that we have to set up separate funds for, so that wasn't a crazy question. Because there is a lot of things we have to have it in a separate fund for.
Right. But it's nice to have it where we can designate where we need it at the time for other things too.
Yeah. All right, if nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn at 6:04.
Make a motion to adjourn at 6:04.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
That's the quickest meeting we've had in a while.
I made it.